What I truly believe is to be an actor is equal parts self-loathing and equal part narcissism, right? So you need to walk that, you need to walk that line on the daily. Pay money and watch me on the big screen for 3 hours. Like that sounds like a mentally ill person.
Totally.
But our job is to convince people that we can do that for a living.
Things like that was said that, will she be able to do it? Did that ever put that angle of self-doubt?
Not at all, it's valid, If I'm putting crores of money, I'd want to know if this person can do it. Mere paise kyun dubao? I don't expect to be given things on a platter. If it's your respect that I need to earn, I'm very, very, very willing. I'm telling you, my mom and I are really similar. So she knows exactly where I'm going wrong. She because we are a very similar kind of actor. So nobody can guide me better than she can. It's her belief in me, that she's like, I really hope people see in her what I see in her.
We're finally in that time of cinema where no matter where you come from, if you're truly talented, the audience will definitely accept you. And my guests today are two people who are talented, hardworking, and extremely passionate about what they do. And their upcoming film is proof of that. Thank you so much, guys, for joining in to Free Press Journal. How have you been?
That's a wonderful introduction. Thank you for
thank you so much
having us over. Thank you so much.
I genuinely, feel that I'll just start right off by saying that because I don't want to get into those debates of your surname and where you come from. It doesn't truly matter today. Or you two are sitting here, and I have seen your work previously as well. I know people who are a little new and younger. I feel we keep discussing this with Janvi, Khushi, everyone, that when they're praised, they feel a little awkward. I see that in your smile as well. But how do you see this changing scenario as? Because it doesn't truly matter who you are. If you are talented, the audiences will accept you.
Right. So I've been working for a while. So I have had that connect with the audience for a while now. So I knew exactly what are they looking for and what is it that I can deliver with time. But it's only a matter of opportunity. And that opportunity happened now with Romeo S3. So it's true, but then there also comes a lot of hustle and a lot of extreme hard work that goes behind.
That's true.
Polishing yourself as an actor, keeping yourself fit all the time, keeping your mental state in check, keeping yourself positive and motivated all the time, even though when you're not feeling positive at all at times.
I get you.
So it is a constant battle every day. People see the outer side and say, oh, he's an actor, so he's been a pro. But what they don't see, what goes behind being an actor or an actress for that matter.
Absolutely.
So we do realize the gravity of this situation, and we cherish this. It's a blessing for us to daily be, loved for our work. And the best part about this is that I truly believe that as an actor is that 1% of the population who enjoy doing their job. This is one particular profession where you have to fall in love with the process, what you do. You would not find an actor who is not happy with his job as an actor. So I'm very blessed that I've fallen in love with what I do. So for me, as you said, talent matters, but of course hard work. If hard work goes hand in hand with talent, then magic happens. So yeah, that's my story.
I think I truly believe that the audiences, perhaps unknowingly, what they look for is not stellar performances truly, but sincerity in a performer. And if they sort of see sincerity in a person, I think that strikes a chord with them. And obviously, very unrelated to where they come from, as long as you look like a certain character. It's not even actually about, because that's not exactly how audiences think, right? They always project. And that is also our job, to evoke that projection from them. So if they're projecting onto you and thinking, oh my God, that is so me, or oh my God, I wish I could do that, or perhaps even, I think the biggest thing is just making them cry or making them laugh. I think that can only come from a place of sincerity. And if they sort of see that sincerity in you, they are bound to like you.
That is true. Something you said that's really true, that people don't see what you're dealing with in your real life. When you are an actor or a celebrity, all they see is that you have to be happy all the time. You have to be very, kind to people no matter what's happening otherwise. Also, an actor's journey is replacements, rejections, and dealing with all of these things,
that's
auditioning.
The flip side of it.
And it happens to the best of us. Like everybody goes through that, and people have time and again spoken about it. I think the way you deal with it changes with time. For you, it's been, of course, much longer. You are way fresher in that zone. How do you two take it as? Because sometimes maybe self-doubt creeps in when you don't get what you truly think you deserve.
For me, initially, it was self-doubt that maybe I lack something which is going against me. Let's say, for example, uh, right after my Mahabharata, I had put on almost 110 kilos the weight. And I was still trying to roam around production houses thinking, oh, I want to do lead, but that's not how it's going to work. So this was something. So my body was going against my ambition at the time, which I was told by people at the time, including a lot of casting directors. So sooner or later, I did realize, okay, maybe this is lacking in me. Let me correct this and then come with a fresh perspective. Whether am I approachable, whether am I acceptable in that manner as an actor at that time. I went, changed my entire body, came down 40 kilos down, transformed myself completely, and then came back again. Then what happened is the perspective changed, that he's too much of a physique guy. And unfortunately in India, a guy with the body cannot be an actor.
Yeah.
That's the perspective people had. But in the West, The Rock, Jason Statham, they're the highest paid actors with amazing physiques. What are we talking about?
True.
Then came this zeal from there to change this perspective if I can combine a performance as well as a physique together. So for me, the ideal figure that came into my mind was Hrithik Roshan. Perfect physique, great actor, good looks, has it all. Why can't, you need somebody to take from.
Yeah.
Okay, if this guy can do it, okay, we can do it. We can try and do it, So my failures have been my stepping stones at the time. But sooner or later what happened is, the rejections I started taking in a very positive stride. Earlier, I used to react emotionally to rejections. But with time, I understood it's complete business. There is no time or space here for getting emotional about anything. It's a complete business, complete cold business. If you suit the character, you're there. Or if I like you and if you're a good human being, and less of an actor, let's say 1920, अगर आप 19-20 actor भी हो, लेकिन आप इंसान अच्छे हो, you're hardworking, you want to work hard, then probably people will respect you and people would want you to work with you. Yeah.
True.
So, and it's not that I'm a complete fresher. I've worked with so many people out there, took the experience and kept going, even though I was in between being replaced. मुझे पता भी नहीं चलता था end moment तक कि when I'm replaced. Tomorrow the next actor is going and I don't even know. A lot of times from the promotions of the movies, I've been chucked out in the previous films earlier so that happens. So what do I do? Do I get what do I get bitter about it? No, it's a part of business. Yeah, it's okay. Whatever helps the film, it's completely fine. So now the maturity has kind of kicked in with time. 10 years ago, I was 21, 22 at the time. Yeah.
True.
So at that time, even the slightest of no or yes or no would affect.
It would hurt.
But today, it's like you take your time. I know myself. I know I can deliver. I will deliver if you just trust me. So this has come to that, and that comes with only experience for me.
Lovely. Palak, what about
I
you?
think for me, what I truly believe is to be an actor is equal parts self-loathing and equal part narcissism, right? So you need to walk that, you need to walk that line on the daily. You need to also, I think there is just such self-obsession, like he said, in just being pay money and watch me on the big screen for 3 hours. That sounds like a mentally ill person.
Totally.
But our job is to convince people that we can do that for a living. And then after that, you then have to be oh, but I suck. Because if you don't do that to yourself, then you will never improve. So it's really a very difficult sort of line to balance, but I think with time, as he said, and experience, you sort of learn how to work that balance a lot better. But it also, to a point, it's because it's such a, you need validation in this industry, right?
Of course.
It's literally reliant on validation. You can't be I don't need you. You literally, you can't be an actor. People can't see themselves in you if they don't validate you. That way, that little bit of self-absorption is there in the general public also, कि मुझे ये नहीं पसंद, मैं इसमें अपने आप को क्यों देखूं? That is there. So you need to convince them of that. I am the normal person, but also you need to be aspirational. So there's so many things and so many just juxtapositions to balance. It can be overwhelming sometimes. I mean, to a point that you sort of are cruel to yourself at times, but also the truth of the matter is, despite how complicated and perplexed it might sound, you just need to be as true to yourself as you can be and as organic, and that's the only way it works.
Absolutely. Yeah, agreed. No, completely agreed to whatever the two of you said. But coming to the movie, of course, I've just watched the trailer as of now, and it looks like a very layered movie. Now, I don't know much about the characters, but how much ever I could get, I think every character is very well written, and it's not just in the movie just for the sake of it. That's what I felt. When you were playing, you play, of course, a journalist in it. What was your experience like? And you've done some commendable action. We've only seen the trailer now, but I have seen and I've heard and I've really, known that action is extremely difficult, and it looks like, okay, he's the hero and he can do it all, but that's not the reality.
Right.
So how was it playing those characters?
I think for me, I mean, I just get to do the fun part of it in this particular film. I think she's also not your textbook journalist, right? There's so much, there is grit, obviously, but it's masked with glamour.
Yeah.
And I would say that's also, like, as 24-year-old Palak, now I look back at her and I'm like, that's probably copium. Like, she's doing that to cope with, like, and she does have a lot of heart in her, and there's a lot of sentiment there. There's this want and desire to be loved, but what takes precedence over all is her ambition, which I think is not really portrayed very honestly in a lot of our films. And also, if you see her ultimate conclusion in the film, which I don't want to spoil, it's very unconventional. Like, for a girl that always wants her way, she doesn't really get her way. And I think there's like this character development arc where she sort of, from being rather vain and self-absorbed, she understands that there are greater things. And, like, our relationship in the film is very, like, he's learned things from me and I've learned things from him, and like there's that emotional exchange as well. And I think, like you said, there is a lot of depth to it, but also there is the nuance of knowing who she is and knowing how to get, like, she is Chalu but she's not the villain. Which, अगर हमारी फिल्मों में कभी-कभी ऐसा होता है कि लड़की के पास दिमाग आ गया तो ये villain हो गई.
That is so sad.
So I really like that about this film, that you know she's a chunt. Even in the trailer you can tell ki she's like, she's doing full time pass. But that's exactly why she's there, and she knows how to use, how to use her brain and how to get her way with things. And she's still a positive character. And those two things can simultaneously exist. And women are like that.
Yeah.
They know how to get their way, and that doesn't make them bad. And I think I love that layering was also showed in this film. For a film that is supposedly all action, I thought that was brilliant layering. And it was a pleasure playing a character like that as my first character ever, So, yeah.
Lovely. What about you?
What about me? What? Like, the question
The
is...
action part.
The action part of the film. It was exhausting physically, but because I was trained and mentally prepared that ये होने ही वाला है. When I heard the script, I knew that this is the kind of action which is going to take place. The beauty of the action of this film is it's very emotional driven. It's not just there because I can perform action. It's there because Sangram Singh Shekhawat के साथ ऐसा कुछ हुआ है, which is why he is killing those people. He is killing those goons because of that. So, which you will see in the film. If you talk about the action, though it looks very nice on the trailer, just to shoot it was so difficult because extreme heat a lot of times, bare body shots, we are working out, we are tanning ourselves, we are oiling while madam is nicely with a umbrella sitting and just chilling with her best friend, the director, sir's madam. So
director says wife.
Director says madam, I call her madam.
Yeah.
No?
Director says madam. Wife, Santosh ma'am, we love you.
Santosh madam, we love you. So though it was physically exhausting, but we knew where we were going with that. So every shot was taken in such beautiful manner by action choreographer Tinu Verma ji. Now when you have a senior technician like Tinu sir on board, then you tend to be like taking a backseat to chill because now you know that you're in safe hands.
Absolutely.
And he's won Filmfare Awards right from Khuda Gawar to Gadar all the way, so many films. So when he also knew that okay, he can perform a little bit here and there, I can whatever say he can do it. Then he went all out. बेटा ये करना है तो करना है, उठना है तो उठना. जैसे ही गिरा, अगर जोर से भी गिरा, सब लोग जानबूझ के तालियां बजाते हैं, वाह 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 वाह. तो फिर अब मुझे लगी भी अच्छा अच्छा हाँ ठीक है, thank you sir. So he used to motivate like that, So having said that, if you talk about the character graph of my character, he plays dual characters in the film.
That's very interesting.
He's a drug peddler in the start also, and undercover operation. So when you say Romeo is the undercover operation. S3 stands for the name Sangram Singh Shekhawat. So there is a Romeo in Ajju, and then there is a Sangram Singh Shekhawat. That's what we are trying to show. Both characters are different. So I had to let go of DCP completely to become an Ajju for a while. And the mannerisms, the body language, the walk, everything changed as per that.
Yeah.
And then we decided to play DCP completely different, which is what surprises her in the film when she sees in the trailer, "Arey वाह, आप तो इस dress में भी आ गए" करके. So nuances of the characters what we worked on.
Great. You know, I was just sitting there and Guddu sir was talking about casting you. He saw a picture and he said a line which a lot of times younger actors who are entering, especially if they come from a film background, they come with that baggage, because he said that some people told him ki kar payegi kya, and he had full faith that nahi, and when he saw you on the first day he realized that no, I want her only. When you hear things like that, or when probably you were entering and things like that was said, that will she be able to do it? Did that ever put that angle
Not
of
at all. It's
self-doubt?
valid, yeah. If I'm putting crores of money, I'd want to know if this person can do it. मेरे पैसे क्यों डुबाऊं
No,
मैं?
not the
Like,
makers, not the makers. When
no, I mean people in general.
yeah.
अगर मैं चलो 200 रुपए भी डाल रही हूँ, मुझे जानना है ना कि कर पाएगी या नहीं, वरना फिर मैं 200 रुपए डाल के 3 घंटे क्यों वेस्ट करूँ? It's fully valid. So I completely get it. No hard feelings. I mean, also I don't expect to be given things on a platter. If it's your respect that I need to earn, I'm very, very, very willing to earn it. Also because I love what I do. I love acting, and that is truly the only part of it that I actually adore. The performance part of it. So if you're saying I'm bad, I'm okay getting better. If you think that there is room for improvement, I agree. I will double down and say yes, there is room for improvement. There's way too much room for improvement, and the day there's no room for improvement is the day you need to break the entire room and start all over again. You know, and so I think my favorite part is the fact that at least in our generation, it's not going to be handed to you. And especially you might become a star, but you won't get respect. And right now, a fan following is easier to acquire than respect is. And that's truly what I want as
That's
an
so
actor.
true, rightfully said.
And that's respect. To be, you know, and also I think acting as a profession for people to take you seriously is a whole different thing. So
it is a very serious profession.
Yeah.
People who
And-
say कि यार casually लो and all that, भाई आपने बहुत
No,
seriously
no,
लिया है,
no,
अब आप उस मुकाम पे तब आप बोल सकते हो कि casually लो. But what she said is very true.
Yeah.
but that's the aim right now. Yeah.
True. You know, who's that one person in your life? Like, we were last year, we met Shweta ma'am, and she was talking about you, and she was just so proud and happy, you know, and she was talking about your work as well. Is she that one person who is truly the best critic for you, and she gives you her honest opinion about your work?
Indubitably so, because also she knows my capabilities a lot more than I know my capabilities, because her and I are sort of this is around the age that she started as well, in fact 5 years younger to me, so we know also, I think our growth graph is around, it's the same, because I'm telling you, my mom and I are really similar. So she knows exactly where I'm going wrong. She because we are a very similar kind of actor. So nobody can guide me better than she can, because she's been this age doing similar scenes and being like, hey, this is where I got stuck. So if you're doing that, and I hated myself when I watched myself back, so don't do that. Also, when you've raised a child, you see them and you see their, you know, you see certain expressions and certain little knacks that they have, and you're like, hey, you know, real cute, don't do that on screen ever, you look hideous. So you know, that always helps to have an actor mom and being like, you know, like मेरी मम्मी मुझे उस दिन बता रही थी, which I think is so interesting, that whenever her and I fight, she's like, मुझे डर क्या लगता है पता है, कि जब तुम झगड़ रही होती हो, मुझे तो लगता है हाँ बदतमीज है, लेकिन ये शक्ल ये जब बनाती है कितनी नेगेटिव लगती है, and I hope she never makes it on screen. And I was like, मम्मी seriously, so when I was giving you my 3-pointer monologue, you were focusing on my expressions and not listening to what I was saying at all. But you know, that's how she is as a person. She's so it's a belief in me, you know, that she's like, I really hope people see in her what I see in her, and hopefully I will.
But I'd like to ask you, ऐसा कभी हुआ है that you have believed in one expression that you have given is the best, but वो mom को एकदम opposite लगा है and she's not liked it at all, and then there is a debate on that कि मैंने जो किया इसका context ये है, but your mom has not approved of it.
So the thing is, I am not the, maybe because I'm starting out also, I am not like a very ki, oh, this is what it is.
Okay.
I'm like very, oh, must be wrong kind of a person in general.
Achha.
So whenever she's like, it's wrong, I'm like, oh, acha. Because also my mom really sits and explains this. She's not a ki main sahi hu kind of a person at all. She's a very ki, no, this is wrong because then you look negative and this and that and this and that. And she's very, very practical.
Technically
Of course.
बहुत correct
Yeah,
होता है.
yeah. Always.
Lastly, of course, before we wrap this interview, because of the situation and the scenario of the current scenario that's going on in the country, another movie was, it was removed from the theatrical release. As, of course, I know as artists, you have no control over it and it's completely the producer's call. But as actors who have worked so hard for the movie, if something like that happens, what will your, view be on that?
It's disheartening at the time because all I can say is nation comes first above all. This call that they took even for the movie that got postponed, but let's say they also, put nation first in a way, It's completely the maker's call whether they want to keep it or not. See, this is happening in the past few days. Suddenly, 2-3 दिन में हुआ. Even we cannot predict what's going to happen in the next 4 few days. As of today, we are sticking to the program of, because we are probably I am praying or that everything should be just, it should be calmed down now. It should be ho gaya, jitna hona tha. People should get back to their lives immediately, and keeping that thing in mind, we are still, kind of keeping our release date to that. But I think it's completely the maker's call right now. But having said that, we've worked really hard on the film, and agar everything sorts out and people still want to see our film, so it should be ready. That's all I would say.
Absolutely.
I mean, I think I would say this is obviously a grave situation, and there is no light to be made of it. And I truly just pray for everyone's safety and happiness, especially on the front lines. And in regards to the film, I think I am just grateful, even if it happens to be an OTT. I'm actually, we are just happy to know that this is going to see light of day, because there was a point where it was just delayed, and sometimes you just work so hard, you're just happy that it's out in the world.
Yeah.
And also I feel like if good work has been done, and I mainly say this for him because I was still very unprepared when I did this film, but he really, really, really is brilliant in the film. And when good work has been done, it gets its due.
Yeah.
Whether it's through theatrical or through OTT, especially considering the situation. Maybe not now, but this film will find its audience in due time.
No, I'm sure about that. But on that note, thank you so much for joining
Thank
in.
you.
All the very
Thank
best
you.
for the
Thank you
movie.
so much for
Thank you.
having us.
Thank you.
Thank
Really
you.
appreciate it.